Andre Drummond, number 10 on my list today. He is a hustler, and he's playing well. I feel like he makes my list every week because he's kind of the underrated guy, and if the Bulls are going to blow it up, somebody should be looking out for Andre Drummond. I'm going to get into it again. He's playing really well for the minutes that he does play. If we take a look, he's playing 16 minutes a game. He's not playing a lot, but he's got the juice. He cooked Chet Holmgren. I'm not going to add the clip into this video, even though I should. But watch Andre Drummond cooks Chet Holmgren, even though Chet's a rookie, and no shame to that. And Andre Drummond's a vet on a minimum contract. Some contenders should be going for it because he gets 3.8 deflections per 36. Okay, do you not know what per 36 means? That's okay. I didn't really either. That's the 9th most in the league. That means if he did play 36 minutes a game, which is like the average a starter would play, provided he doesn't get into foul trouble, he's going to get 36 minutes a game. And then 3.7 in box outs per game. 10th in the league. Box outs. I believe, this is the thing. We're going to get a little bit deeper into it because we're going to be talking about the person who has the most box out in the league. 3.7 box outs per 36 doesn't sound like a lot. Do you think, well, every shot somebody's boxing somebody out? Apparently not. And I tried to get into this. I don't know what exactly qualifies as a box out, but according to the NBA's definition of a box out, per 36, and again, all of these stats for Andre Drummond are going to be per 36, which is just meaning let's extrapolate this out and pretend that Andre Drummond is a starter in the league. And let's say if he did play starter minutes, he would have the same production as the minutes he does play now, which isn't totally fair because obviously Andre Drummond probably isn't in the shape that he was when he was the youngest player in the league, which he was at one point in time. He dated Jeanette McCurdy, too. If you didn't know that, they were a thing. He had a crush on her. 5.2 screen assists per 36 per game. I threw that in. Honestly, he's not really crushing it at that. But he is hustling, and the screen assists are one of the hustle stats for the NBA. I should have mentioned that. So, which means he set a screen, and then there was a score off of the screen that he set. So he didn't assist, as in he didn't pass the ball, but he did set the screen that led to the basket. 1.1 steals per game, and that is not per 36. Andre Drummond is getting some steals per game, and he's a center. He's not a perimeter defender by any means, but he's getting a lot of steals. Let's take a look at his stats real quick. In the 16 minutes he's playing, 8.5 rebounds. I talked about this last week. Let's not talk about it. The steals are what's really selling anyone on Andre Drummond. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi, not exactly the hustle leader. He's not the king of the hustle leaders, but he's on the boards. He's on the hustle leader stats, which you can check out on NBA.com. If you don't like watching my videos, but you wonder where I get this information from, it's all there. So Kawhi, he makes it on the list, and he does play a lot. And on my other channel, I really criticize Kawhi quite a bit, and I'm kind of nasty, and I do feel bad about that. He's playing really well, and also, why was I nasty? I don't know this man. So I want to give him his due. 1.7 steals per game, pretty good. 2.52 miles ran per game. That's 30th in the league. Think about how many players in the league. I think they say 450. That's the Players Association. They call themselves the 450. Pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool name because it's 30 teams, 15 guys on a roster. 30th ain't bad. 30th, that's the upper percentile. Kawhi is running a lot with those bad degenerative knee disorder. Good for him. 1.2 loose balls recovered per game. Second most in the league. And you bet your ass we're going to talk about the guy who has the most recovered balls in the league. 3.1 in deflections per game. That's the 6th most in the league. So Kawhi Leonard, and he has great per game stats, 24 points per game. He ain't no James Harden in 2019, but it's Kawhi Leonard. He's playing defense as well. 1.7 steals, like I said. He's playing really well, and he's hustling a lot. And he's played in 35 games, which is more than he's ever played in. Now that he has his contract extension, let's see if he takes it a little bit easy. I got a feeling he's gonna And Caruso, of course. I was glad I found a GIF, of Caruso actually hustling and recovering a loose ball. Because, this is obviously, I feel like most GIFs you find are just flexing. They're just the player like flexing or celebrating or doing something like that. It's hard to find GIFs of players actually scoring points in actual basketball plays, which is kind of unfortunate. It's always just some sort of promotional thing or them celebrating or pointing or something like that, which is kind of annoying because I want to see a dunk. I want to put in GIFs of them dunking. 4.7, these are also deflections that are per 36. So he's 3.3 deflections per game, which is pretty high. I believe that is the 6th most in the league, but he only plays 25 minutes a game. So I think that's very important to point out. He has the 6th most and he's not playing, I don't think he's starting most games. So he's playing 25 minutes a game, but he's up on the top 10 in deflections per game. So I wanted to point out his per 36, which is 4.7. So let's pretend in a world where Alex Caruso starts and gets starter minutes, I think he has the 3rd most deflections in the league. Hustler. And he makes all over the charts. So charges drawn is another hustle stat. 0.24. Wow, he doesn't even get 1 per game. How often are people drawing a charge? It's very rare. So he's the 9th most per game in the league. And again, only playing 25 minutes. So, for every minute, I'm not going to do the math on that, but he's the 9th most in charges drawn. His ass must be sore. So 8 charges drawn total, which is the 10th most in the league. That shows you how few charges actually are drawn. We'll get to the guy, I believe, who has the most charges drawn. It's not who you think. It's not the guy with the biggest ass in the league. It's not him. 1.3 steals per game, pretty good. A little bit better than Andre Drummond. A lot of defenders on the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls are coming back too. I don't sleep on Chicago. I could see them not trading Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan, just saying, hey, we're kind of picking it up right now. Why not go for it? Why not go for it again? I know DeMar's contract is expiring, but whatever. We'll let it expire. Maybe we'll re-sign him, do a little sign and trade at the end of the season. I don't know. We'll see what the Bulls do. Domantas Sabonis. He doesn't. Okay, one thing I want to point out before I gas him up, dude. Domantas Sabonis gets half a block a game, which is pretty bad as a center in the league. That is the thing he doesn't do well, is he doesn't get a lot of blocks. He is not a great rim protector, but he is the center for the Sacramento Kings. Typically, I don't think he's playing the 4. I don't know who would. Alex Len would be the 5 on that team. I mean, I just watched him. He's the center. Doesn't get a lot of blocks, but 5.4 screen assists per game. That means he's setting the pick for De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is getting the bucket, and he does the most in the league. The pick and roll between De'Aaron Fox or Malik Monk or Harrison Barnes, he's always setting that screen. So, leading the league in the pick and roll is Domantas Sabonis. He's the best pick and roll center in the league. I said it. I believe it. 2.5 box outs again. I don't know what the box outs means, but he is boxing guys out, and he is getting rebounds. 12.7 rebounds per game. It's solid. Domantas Sabonis is really good, and he's hustling. 2.6 miles per game, which is more than Kawhi Leonard. I think it's like the 20th most in the league. So as a center, he's running a lot. This guy cares about the game. That's why I like Sacramento. I like all those teams that are sort of misfit toys. Guys that weren't really, like a Lauri Markkanen or a, who else? Put me on the spot. Why would you ask me this question? But Lauri Markkanen is a misfit toy. Domantas Sabonis is a misfit toy. Tyrese Halliburton, kind of a misfit toy. If RJ Barrett, he's a misfit toy. Guys that got traded that have talent, sort of. But they kind of have to prove that they're actually worth something. You got to get traded in some crap deal and then overperform. That's kind of the idea. Like, why did we trade this guy away? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a misfit toy in a sense, since he was traded from the Clippers after his rookie year for Paul George. Something to think about. Anyway, we can move on. Robert Covington. Again, per 36 stats. He's only getting 16 minutes a game. All these gifs that I have of Robert Covington are from his first stint in Philly. He looks significantly older now, and he gets significantly less minutes. So he gets 17 minutes a game. So these are all per 36. 3 deflections a game. He's, in his 16 minutes playing, his per 36, 6.5 deflections per game. He has the most deflections per 36. So he's the most efficient deflector in the game. What does that tell us? That means he's hustling. That means he is getting to every ball. And he's making a lot of steals too. 1.3 steals per game in 16 minutes. He has to be leading the league. I'm not going to zoom out from my screen and look and see if he's leading the league in steals per 36 minutes. But I'm going to assume he is. So Robert Covington only playing 17 minutes a game, but probably minute by minute best defender in the league. Shout out Robert Covington. He's earning it. He's got to be old too, man. He's got to be old, but he's only been in the league for 10 years. I think he was a late bloomer. Also, undrafted guy. Good for you, Robert Covington. Good for you, Glenn Coco. You guys ever seen Mean Girls? It's a funny movie. 4.9 assists per game for Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic. I bet you were not expecting me to put Nikola Jokic on this list, and I wasn't really either. But then I kind of got into it, and I was looking at the hustling leader stats, and I was like, dude, Nikola Jokic is on this list a lot. So 4.9 screen assists per game. Let's see what Domantas Sabonis was. 5.4. 4.9. He's out there. He's doing the pick and roll too, along with a lot of other stuff. So maybe he's not as good in the pick and roll as Domantas Sabonis, but dude, Jokic is the best player in the league. Besides Joel Embiid. I don't know. Joel doesn't play as much. They're both really good. Who's to say? Tomato, tomato. We all have our preferences. Looks like the screen's cut off at the very bottom. 25.5 points per game. He's basically averaging a triple-double. He's the fourth most total deflections in the league, 117. Dude, remember when people used to criticize his defense? It's just not true. He's actually really good at defense. Contested threes, 113. He's in the top 10 for contested threes in a game. Dude, Nikola Jokic has really good defense. People aren't really criticizing him on the defensive end of the floor. But you all remember when they did, right? That was the whole knock against him, and that was the whole praise for Embiid was he was a two-way player. Jokic was a one-way player, but it's not really true anymore. I don't think Nikola Jokic is getting on any all-defensive teams this year, but nevertheless, he made 6 on my list. Cat's purring really loud. TJ McConnell. Everyone knew he'd be on this list. There are a lot of repeat offenders on here, from the underrated players, because I used the hustle stats to come up with those. But TJ McConnell, I think he won the Hustle Award one year. I don't know if you know this, but the NBA has a Hustle Award. I'm going to bring it up. And I think some years they give it out. Some years they don't give it out. I think some years they forget about it. And then they're like, oh, shit, I forgot. Didn't we have a Hustle Award that we did? I think Marcus Smart has won it 3 years in a row. I might be wrong, though. I forget. I think Montrezl Harrell might have got it, even though he was kind of a bad defender. He won it one year. I could be wrong, though. It's important, so I'm going to look this up. So, so Marcus Smart did win it last year. And then the year before, they just didn't do it. 21-22, they did not have a Hustle Award. They just didn't think it was important. And then the year before that, Thaddeus Young won it. Oh, wait, they just skipped the 1 year. That's so funny. Then Montrez won it in 2020. Marcus Smart again in 2019. Amir Johnson, and then Pat Bev won it in 2017. I bet you guys didn't know this. That's the whole time it's been around. TJ McConnell has not won it. So, 4 deflections per game, per 36. This is really good. Again, this is a 17-minute game guy. Leading the league in per 36 deflections, TJ McConnell. Granted, you can hustle a lot when you're only playing 17 minutes a game. You're going to give it your all. 1.7 loose balls recovered. I think he might be leading the league in that. I already have my screen up. Might as well look it up. But charges drawn per 36.04. That has to be leading the league. Let's just pull it up. Let's just see what's up. You know what? Let's just escape this. I apologize if you look and see what I have on my screen. If I have, something inappropriate or not. But let's look at the hustle leaders. Let's just cheat. Okay, so per 36, Loose balls recovered. Okay, so he's third. TJ McConnell is third, tied with Jordan Goodwin. I don't really know who that is. I don't know. I guess he plays for Phoenix. What else is TJ McConnell? Okay, so charges drawn per 36. He's 10th. So he's on his butt a lot. So let's go back to it. I threw this off. I lost the groove. Average speed is 4.73, which is like top 20 in the league. He runs really fast. He's running a lot. Again, you can run really fast when you're only playing 17 minutes a game. What's his full potential, though? Let's look at his like regular stats, though. His 3-point percentage is garbage. It's trash. And he's doing 1.5. He's shooting 1.5 three-pointer attempts per game. So, his field goal percentage is decent. 6 assists. He's not a bad player, but he hustles a lot. He's a good energy guy. He's what you want. He's what you want in a off-the-bench second unit. Hold it together, hold down the defense, make sure that they're not a sieve. The Pacers aren't a sieve when Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner are out. Brook Lopez is next. 3.5 box outs. I believe he leads the league in box outs. He puts his ass into other players 3.5 times a game. Has to be more than that, but he gets a certified box out. That's what we're going to call it. It's, I guess, like a certified box out. Somebody's going back through and watching the game and seeing, like, checking each box out. If it's like a certified, count it. That's one box out for Brook Lopez, I guess, man. Or maybe it's a software that they have do it. Maybe they have it programmatically done by image recognition software that can analyze a video and certify a box out. Maybe everyone calls that AI, but it's not AI necessarily, just software. It's just image recognition software that can look at a video and tell you if it's a rebound or a box out. 2.9 blocks per game, really high. That's good blocking. That's good defense. Played all 40 games for the Milwaukee Bucks. That's a thing people don't really talk about. Playing 31 minutes a game. He's played all 40. He ain't young either. He's older than me, and I'm pretty old, so Brook Lopez, underappreciated. I'm not even saying he's underappreciated. I'm just saying he hustles. Bam Adebayo. This is the guy that leads the leagues in box outs. Those certified box outs that I was talking about, Bam's doing it the most. How many assists? So he only gets like 10.4 rebounds a game. So I assume when you're boxing a guy out, you don't really care if you get the rebound. One of your teammates can. All you're doing is obstructing the other team from getting the rebound. Doesn't matter if you get the rebound or not. You're just making sure your team does. And Bam Adebayo does that a lot. So obviously it's a hustle stat because it doesn't really show up in the box score. It doesn't really show up in the stats. When contract time comes around, people are going to be looking at your rebounds. They're not going to be looking at your box outs, which is kind of dumb. Another thing I really hate is at the end of the game, everyone kind of like slows down and the guy that has the ball at the end of the game gets a turnover or lets the shot clock run out because everyone's kind of decided they're not going to play anymore because the defense can't catch up, so they just kind of wait it out, and inevitably shot clock runs out and there's still 3 seconds left, counts as a turnover. I wouldn't like that because I'm going to sign a contract in a couple years and that turnover is going to show up because once it's aggregated, once it's put into your stats for the year, it's a turnover. Nobody's going to remember that it's at the end of the game. So if I were an NBA player, I would just be trying to score the entire time. If the defense kind of lets up and wants me to dribble it out, I don't care. I'm going to go score because those 2 extra points are going to show up in my stats. So when it's contract time, people are going to say, oh, dang, scored that extra 2 points. Play it out. Why not? And this is the number 1 guy. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I almost said Gillis, like I said Jiff. Leads the league in deflections per game. Leads the league in loose balls recovered. 42 loose balls recovered. Leads the league in contesting 3-point shots. These are all the hustle stats. He's leading the league in 3 different categories of hustle stats. Ladies and gentlemen, this is like potentially your MVP. Okay? I don't think it will be long until he surpasses Embiid. Especially if Embiid stops playing in the MVP tracker, he's going to go down. Like, I'm sorry, even if he starts playing again and he still qualifies for the MVP, it's going to hurt you not playing in these games because the voters are going to be out of their mind because they're not watching you get 50 points a game. And Shay, I don't see stopping. He's younger. There's less of an incentive to have him rest, and he's just going to keep playing more games. And people are going to start looking at these hustle stats and see, like, this guy's everywhere. He's all over the ball constantly. He runs 2.56 miles per game. One of the most, that's like one of the highest in the NBA. So he's playing a lot of minutes too, 34.5 minutes a game. 2.4 steals a game. He's going to be on an all-defensive team. He should be on an all-defensive team. People are sleeping on this guy. His three-point percentage isn't crazy, but again, his usage is crazy. 2.4. This might be our MVP. I mean, Nikola Jokic is our MVP at the moment, but Shay is the best guard in the league. I said it. I feel confident saying that. Again, I'm not like a basketball guru. I can't watch the game and even really tell you what's happening. I can't tell you about defensive schemes or anything like that, but I will tell you, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the future. So, thanks for being here. Be good to your mothers.